Good day. Today we'll be taking a look at the SQL statements. Okay, so we want to query our database. We want to see what we really have in our database. So what are the statements for us to query them? We have the following statements. We have the select statement, the from statement, the limit statement, order by, where the comparison operators as well as the logical operators. So let's take a step further. For the select statement, so this is used to identify the columns we want to select. That is, we want to pick or pull out from our table that we are working with. So it goes in the format select column name. Okay. And if you want to select all the columns, you make use of the asterisk sign. Okay. And then the from statement is used to name the table that we want to pull out the data from. So say for instance, we have a student results table right now. You can say select matric number, comma, the name from 2024 academic results. Okay. While for the order by is used to order our columns, is used to reorder our columns based on the data. You can decide to implement one or more columns, and it can as well be in ascending order or descending order. And then for the where, you have it as a filter condition such that you'll be able to specify, okay, is it equal to so number, not equal to, is it greater than this, is it less than this, or greater than or equal to this. And then for the logical operators, we have it as a special snowflake whereby it allows us to match specific or similar values together. Okay, we can say it has it in this like format, it's in between these are specific range, or it's also between a certain range. Is null allows us to get rows that do not have data. When you bring in your hand as a logical operator, you are saying that okay, satisfy two conditions. The whole operator, it's either it satisfies this or it satisfies that condition, and then the not means that what, it doesn't meet a certain criteria. All right, so going forward, let's take a look at the query. Okay, so first thing first, let's take a look at the database. We say we want to retrieve all the columns from the country-wise table. Okay, so you can just highlight these, then you execute, that is select star from country-wise. Okay, so you can see now that we have all our columns. Okay, let me see how I can minimize these and give you a very good experience now. All right, so the star, you can see it did what, it selected all the columns. So if we want to say we want to retrieve certain columns now, okay, so the query is going to be simple. Retrieve say the country, the confirmed cases, as well as the deaths. And then let's take a look at say the WHO region, WHO region column from the country-wise table. All right, so let me just copy and paste this. Now we are specifying certain columns that we want to what, to select from. This is that. This is certain columns. Recall the select star means it retrieved all the columns. Now I just want to limit to one, two, three, four. Four columns from the country-wise table. So now you can see that I only have what, one, two, three, four. Those selected columns only. Okay, so now taking a look at the distinct statement, it allows us to select the unique variables in that particular column. So you can see now I said select the distinct, that is the unique values in the WHO region column. Okay, so now select distinct WHO region. Let's execute. You're gonna see the result. So now you can see that we have about 6 unique regions. We have Europe, Western Pacific, Americas, Eastern Mediterranean, Africa, and Southeast Asia. Those are the unique regions in that table. All right. So for the where statement now, where is a filter condition? Okay, and you can use it alongside your comparison operators. So right now we say, all right, I want you to retrieve for me the details for countries with more than say 1 million confirmed cases. If we have something like that, let's check. Okay, do we have? Wow, we have. Okay, so for visibility, we have select star from country wise where confirmed is greater than 1 million. Okay, so now you can see for the confirmed cases for Brazil, we have about 2.4 million, while for India, we had about over 1.48 million, and for the United States, we had above 4.2 million. Okay, so now we can say, okay, uh, we want to rewrite our query. Okay, you can decide to use less than or equal to now. Let's say less than. Select all the columns where say active. Okay, let's use is less than or equal to, less than or equal to 1 million. Get details for countries with less than or equal to 1 million active cases, because the active is where close right now. So let's run this. Recall this hyphen, those double hyphen mean inline comments. It's not going to run alongside the query. So you can see now we have for active cases now less than 1 million. You can see it's giving us about 186 rows. However, let's change it to, so we want to see countries where the activeness is just less than 100, where the active cases is less than 100. Let's see. Okay, so we can streamline our data much. So we have about 40 countries whose active cases is just less than 100. You can see for Andorra 52, 9, 13, and then you can even decide to streamline it so lower. Say, oh, I want countries where the active cases is less than 10. Okay, so let's check it out. You can just play around it. You can see we have about 15 countries right now: Barbados, Brunei, Dominica, Fiji, Greenland, Grenada, Holy, and so on and so forth. Okay, now pushing forward, we also have the and operator. Okay, it says want to look at countries with more than 500,000 confirmed cases and more than 10,000 deaths. So we are trying to join two conditions together here right now. So recollect, you have your select all columns from country wise where confirmed is greater than 500,000 and the debt is also greater than 10,000. Okay, so now we are joining two conditions together. What do we have? So you can see for two of those columns now, confirmed cases is greater than 500,000. You can see we have cases over 500,000 here, and where the debt is greater than 10,000, you can see the debt is greater than 10,000 here. So it allows those two conditions to be filtered, and then we have our results. All right, so for this right now, recall our region was is a typo, Europe. We had about 6 distinct regions then. Okay, so we said let's retrieve records with more than 1 million confirmed cases or they belong to the Europe WHO region. Okay, so as the custom is, select star from your table where confirmed is greater than 1 million or your region is equal to Europe. Now recall that here we had to put the Europe, we had to put it in quotes, okay, such that it's a text for the query to be able to recognize it. All right, so let's run this, execute. Good. So now let's take a look. It says where confirmed cases is greater than 1 million, confirmed cases is greater than 1 million, or where the region is Europe. So let me do it this way. Let me just select, let me run this, let me copy and paste this query, and then we select a few columns such that we'll be able to see, say country, then confirmed column, then the WHO region. So we would be able to have a good peek of our results. All right. So now take a look at this query that we ran now. It said where confirmed is greater than 1 million. Okay. Or the region is Europe. So you can see that for this Albania now, the confirmed result is just about what? 4,880. And then it had Europe as a region. So it's either it satisfies this or it satisfies the other condition. Now you can see here we said or the whole case. Now we are having Americas here. For Brazil, they had above 2 million confirmed cases, while the region fell in what? In the Americas. But now we want to say, okay, we only want situations whereby it's only in Europe. So that means we need to streamline and just say, okay, let's change this or condition and say, and so we want to want to really check that was the Europe continent really affected? Did they have a case above 1 million? Notice I had to change to and here. Now let's execute. Do we have any such results? So it said it didn't happen. It didn't occur in Europe where they had number of confirmed cases above 1 million and then the Europe. So let's check for Americas. Okay. So let's see. For the Americas, you can see now it satisfied both condition, Brazil, South America, and then for the US, you can see both conditions were really satisfied. So you can just find time to play around all these to for you to be able to generate insights. Okay, so let's move on to the order by column. So the default for the SQL is that it returns your results in ascending order. Okay, your results will be returned in ascending order. Quick one, it says, let's take a look at all the countries ordered by the number of confirmed cases in descending order. So now we are selecting about two columns. Okay, select country and confirmed from country-wise table, and then order by confirmed in descending order. Let's take a look at these. Now you can see the highest, the country that had the highest number of confirmed cases is the US, followed by Brazil, followed by India, followed by Russia. All right, so you can see it in what? In descending order. However, let's also take a look at the ascending order of a thing right now. So for that, it's gonna be ASC, and then this will be ascending order. Okay, so let's run it. So you can see in ascending order, that is from the smaller number to the bigger number. So this is like we are doing sorting, sort from large to small. Okay, small to large, as the case may be. So you can see 10, 12, 14 in ascending order that way, up till we get to the US, which is down here. And in, as I mentioned earlier, the default. So in case you do not want to apply the ASC, the default is always ascending order for your query. So let's run this. So after execution, you can see we still got the same result for the ascending order. All right, so let's move on to group by. You want to group them in into a particular bucket. Okay, so now let's take a look at, it says select WHO region, select the sum of confirmed cases. Okay, so you want to rename it. This is an alias statement. This as as. So let me put it in case from your table, and then you group by WHO region. All right, so let's take a look at what this is going to give us. According to the WHO region, you can see for the Europe region, you can see the results. That's the sum of all the confirmed cases for every particular country that falls within the Europe region. That is it over there. For your Western Pacific, for your Americas, for your Eastern Mediterranean, Africa, Southeast Asia. So you can just start continue with your analysis and see how this really works. Okay, so now let's take a look at the aggregate functions. The aggregate functions include the sum, average, minimum, and maximum. So as I mentioned earlier, we have the alias statement. So let's take a look at these. We said we need the total confirmed cases, total death, and average death per 100 cases for all countries. So the sum of confirmed as total confirmed, the sum of death as total deaths, and then the average deaths per 100 cases. Okay, from the country-wise table. So this has already summarized all the columns, as we can see here. So for all the countries we have in our table, you can see the total confirmed, which is about 16,480,485,000, and then for the total deaths we had about 654,000 and 36. All right, so now let's take a look at the halving clause. Okay, so now we said we want to select a region as well as the confirmed cases. We say we want to group it by region, and the region that has a case above 10 million, greater than 10 million. Do we have such region? It says such region does not exist. So let's say above 1 million. Which region exists above 1 million? Let's run our query. Good. So we can see here we had four continents. that has their sum of confirmed cases greater than 1 million. Okay, so we have Europe, Americas, Eastern Mediterranean, and then Southeast Asia. So if we want to say the sum of confirmed is less than 1 million right now, okay, let's just copy this. So we can see that we're gonna get the remaining two is, let's use less than 1 million. So by tweaking the query, so let's see, you can see less than 1 million. You can see that we now have the remaining two continents here. And we could see that in Africa had about 723,000, while for Western Pacific had above 292,000. Okay, so going forward, let's take a look at the count statement. So we want to count the number of countries with more than 10,000 deaths. Okay, so count. So the count clause uses a count star and then number of countries with more than 10k deaths. That's the earlier statement. So it's always important you try to name your columns, okay, as that will be able to give you much more insight into what you are really doing. Okay, so now we've taken a look at these are various SQL statements, and we can see how SQL is really helping us to get data. So we can want to say, okay, we want to count, say, confirm the rows, confirm rows of the data set. Apparently, that is about 187 rows if I can remember vividly. So select count. Okay, then as you all know, that star is all columns, right? Okay, so I'll name it as, that's my data set shape. Okay, then from the name of my table, country wise. Okay, you can end it with your semicolon. So let's run this query. What do we have? Now you can see my data set shape is what? 187. So without further ado, I believe you can, you know, pull up these, generate your queries, and see how good you are with SQL. Thank you. In case if you have any further questions, you can always reach out. Okay, so and I'll also ensure that these query is being attached in the video below. Okay, do have a great day. Bye.